Hey, it's me. Happy Valentine's Day. Today, I am making DIY punch needle coasters. So if you've been with me for a while, you know that I very much enjoy crafts. I'm typically a paint person. I don't usually delve into crafts that involve fabric or yarn. I think the closest I've ever come to that is needle felting, which I really did enjoy. You should definitely check out the times that I've done that because they are very satisfying. But today I'm delving into the world of yarn to try punch needle. Punch needling is a technique where you use a needle with some yarn pulled through and you stab, stab, stab until you get a cute result. I don't know much about it at all. That's literally my knowledge of what I think punch needling is. I have never attempted anything like this, so I'm very curious to see how this works out. I bought a kit off of Amazon and the reviews were very nice. They did say that the instructions were very hard to follow, so as a beginner, I'm a little concerned about how that's going to work out. But I do have a good feeling about trying this craft because most of the reviews said that it was very easy to get the hang of. They just needed help from outside sources. Let's get right to it. And we're back. So over the course of the past couple of weeks, I did 6 coasters, which is what the kit had in it. I started way earlier than I normally would and probably should normally because it's a new craft and I was concerned that I would not do great picking it up quickly. But despite that, I picked it up very quickly with the help of a YouTube tutorial, which told me the basics of how to thread the needle and what this technique involves. So it was very helpful just to have that, because the instructions were in fact difficult to follow. So for reference, here are the instructions that came with the kit. I found it very difficult to follow. Yeah, it uses things like this. This is step 2. Select the wool and punch needle you need and pass the long threader through the end hole of the punch needle to the end of the pin. As a beginner, I can clarify that I did not know what long threader meant and end hole of the punch needle. I didn't know there was a hole in the needle itself. I just thought that you threaded it through the little hole and that was it. Apparently, this whole thing is hollow and you have to pass a metal wire through this hole all the way through, loop the yarn, and pull it back through. Then you put it through this little hole, pull it through. Without additional instructions, how was I supposed to know that? And then the very last phrase of step 3 says, trim redundant wools by the way, we need to use the back of fabric at last. Was not clear at all. Oh, step 4 says, after the punched, use scissors to trim the cloth along the outer edge of the embroidery indentation. Cut it as shown in the figure, which by the way, figure was not clear, and press it over to the inside of the punch pattern. It says something about white embroidery thread, which now that's making me think that I didn't do something correctly, because I definitely didn't read this far. In the kit though, it does give you several nice tools. It gave me an embroidery hoop, which you use to keep the fabric tight. It gave me scissors. Very nice. I actually am a huge fan of these for some odd reason. I really like how they cut. Wow. That did not come out. I really like how they cut the yarn. And then the punch needle itself, which is hollow. Oh, look, you can see completely through it. Yep, completely hollow. Very nice little tool though. And then this thing, which I don't know what it is, but I used it as a yarn holder. I think that's what it's for. That's the only thing other than a stand to put the fabric on. But I tried that and that didn't go so well. So I used it as a yarn holder. It didn't give me a supply list. It actually didn't tell me what I had in the kit. But it did give me enough material to make 6 of these and then have some leftover yarn. And for reference, this is how much I had left. I have at least one of every color. And I dropped some, but that's normal. So I'll cut right to the chase now, since I've talked about my review of the kit. So here's the first one. I did it completely backwards from the design because I didn't realize you're supposed to do it with the black line facing down. The outline is not supposed to be facing you, which thankfully doesn't matter. That's what that looks like. And I believe I cut this one a little too close because some of the stitches want to fall out, which I think that's what that white embroidery stuff was supposed to be used for, but I didn't use that, so maybe after the filming of this video I should go back and do that. But this is the first one. It's a little chocolate. Yep, see the bottom wanting to come off. The second one went slightly better. This one says love, and I had to do this one with the design facing down, so I'm surprised it turned out as well as it did. This one still has the edges wanting to fall off, so I'm trying to be gentle with it. I need to secure the edges. Again, the white floss, I probably need to do that. I may actually have to go in with some kind of Mod Podge on the edges or something to just secure that, and maybe even add a little bit of the yarn to the edges to clean that up. But if you'll look at the stitching, I did a much neater job here of getting those kind of even. So it's getting better. The next one is when I realized that things were getting better. This is a half and half heart, and I really like how this one turned out because of how clean this middle line is. Again, look at the stitching. You can kind of see a little mistake, a little oopsie over here, and a little oopsie where the edges are wanting to come off. But this one turned out a lot cleaner stitch-wise. You can see I had a long one down here that I was trying to clean up something with. Don't remember what. But this one looks a lot cleaner. And then this one is really cute. I really like this one. This one feels more my style. I think I was getting tired of that dark red, maroonish, brownish color at this point, so seeing something kind of light made me happy. This one turned out a lot cleaner. I was a little bit more careful about how I cut the edges, so it turned out a lot better. You can also see the stitching is mostly going in the same directions, so I was a little bit more methodical, I think that's a word, with this one as opposed to the first three. And then the next one is a little brownish maroonish heart with some magenta polka dots. I was actually really worried that this one wouldn't turn out all that good because of the circles, but it turned out really cute. I just had to be super careful about how I did my circles. I left a little bit of edge on this one because I was worried that I was going to cut it too short, and I'm glad I did that because now I think I've saved the design. But I'm really proud of how this one turned out. I wish the stitching had turned out a little neater, but I got in between the circles and I just started kind of going willy-nilly, so I kind of stopped caring about which direction the stitches went in once I got to this inner part. But I tried to make it as neat as possible. And finally, we have this one, which I actually didn't like on the paper so much because I thought the purple clashed with the red, but I actually really like it now. And once again, I feel a little bit more confident with it because the lines turned out really straight. And on this one in particular, I'm proud of how neat the stitching came out. I went in the same direction the whole way except for the edges. And I think that shows how much improvement can be made with repetitiveness, because this is doing it 6 times over and doing the process 6 times over again. And that's what the last result comes out. So let me show you the first one compared to this one. Here's this one for reference, and here's the first one. Look at the difference. It's not just the colors. Overall, if you're thinking about trying punch needle, I recommend trying this kit. However, I want to put it out there that the instructions are not clear, and you will need outside sources to help you. I will give it bonus points because it gives you all of the materials you need and then some. I had plenty of yarn for mistakes, and my materials were solid. It wasn't like they were going to fall apart or anything, so that felt very nice to have. I also felt like the templates were very good quality, and the fabric and the felt that came on the back of them was very good quality. However, those instructions really do throw a wrench in the plans, because how else are you supposed to learn this if you don't have outside sources? Just be aware that you're going to need outside sources. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know that I enjoyed trying something new, and I hope that you had a wonderful Valentine's Day filled with great memories. Happy Valentine's Day! I will see you all next week.